Hey friend, welcome to the Branding with Jade podcast. I'm Jade, also known as the Aussie Adventuress, and I left the high-flying corporate world to chase my dreams and build an online business. Now, my biggest passion is teaching you how to get paid to be yourself doing what you love. If you want my secrets on all things personal branding, marketing, entrepreneurship, and making money doing what you love, then lovely, you are in the right place. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Branding with Jade podcast. I'm so excited. I have actually got my act together and I am batch recording some episodes today. So that's why you're not going to really hear much intros in the last couple of ones. So the one that I shared last week, the one I'm doing today, and next week's one are actually all being recorded on the same day because we have Freddie's sister getting here on the 18th. Obviously, Christmas and New Year's is coming up. It's a busy time of year, and I just wanted to be organized and get everything ready to go before we wrap up for the end of the year. So I'll also probably be taking a break between the Christmas, New Year's, and probably the first week of January. You won't hear from me because I do want to really enjoy that time while we've got Freddie's sister and we've got some friends visiting, and Freddie will be home for 3 weeks. So I really just want to enjoy that time. And that's the beauty of this time of the year. That's the beauty of running a business that you're in control of. You can take breaks. And as my podcast is still very new and still growing, I think it's okay to do that. I do plan to be so much more organized next year with a lot more of this batching kind of content and not just doing everything live and on the go, because that does get a little bit much when you're trying to record every week, and it does make so much more sense to record in advance. I just hadn't been that organized yet this year, but because I have a deadline, because I want to get things done before everyone gets here, it's forcing me to do it now. So I just need to get in that habit, and then I'll be able to do it. I think recording 3 or 4 in one day is a pretty good thing to aim for. And then you've got your whole month's content sorted. And if you're thinking, what on earth is she talking about? What is batching? Don't you worry, because that is a topic I'll be talking to you about next year when we get, how crazy is that saying next year? Oh my God. Anyway, today's topic is all about nailing your niche. So let's get into it. So when it comes to building a powerful personal brand and online business, another really crucial element to your success is nailing your niche. So no business, particularly a small one, can be all things to all people. And this comes back to what I was saying when I was talking about the importance of defining your customer, because when you try to speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So you really need to understand who your audience is, and you really need to find your niche, because when you have a niche, your audience will find you, because that's the kind of place they're looking for you. So the more narrowly you can define your target market, the better. And this process is known as creating a niche, and it's the key to success for even the biggest companies. So when it comes to determining your niche, some things to consider would be things like, what are your top interests? What are you already always posting content about? What are you skilled at? Who do you help? What do you help them with? Are there already other people sharing content in this niche? What point of difference can you offer? For example, as I'm now sharing health and wellness products, this is a huge industry, and to just say I'm helping people with their health is way too broad and is not going to attract anyone to me. No one's going to be just searching for health, and if they are, there's millions and millions of posts out there, so I'm never going to show up in a feed. So I need to go narrower. I need to think about, who do I actually help? I help burnt out entrepreneurs, specifically female entrepreneurs, who have put their businesses first for far too long and allowed their health to suffer. Why do I help them? Because I have a personal connection to people in this position, because that's the same boat I was in not so long ago. And I found a way to bring balance back to my life, so I want to help other people to do the same. So that's my point of difference to other people in the health and wellness niche. Other people in the health and wellness niche are personal trainers, mums who wanted more energy, and mums who wanted to stay at home with their kids. What else? Like fitness instructors, dancers, boxers, people like sporting athletes, that's the word I was looking for. So there's so many people in the health and wellness industry. So it's all about finding your little spot within that industry, and that's your niche. Now, let's look at niche a little deeper. So a good niche has 5 qualities. It takes you where you want to go. In other words, it conforms to your long-term vision. Somebody else wants it, so that's where your customers come in. They want what you're talking about in your niche. It's carefully planned. It's one of a kind, so it's the only game in town. Now, these days it's hard to be one of a kind in a niche because there's so many people out there doing similar things. But this is where personal branding becomes so important, because even though there may be other people in the same niche as you, they're not you. They don't bring the same experiences to it. They don't bring the same context. They don't bring the same methods, the same personality. They're different, and that's the other way that you have a personal point of difference within a niche. Now, and it evolves. So it allows you to develop different profit centers and still retain the core business, thus ensuring long-term success. So for example, when we look at my Aussie Adventurous brand, this has evolved so much over time. And when we look at it from 4 years ago, when I very, very first created her, to where she is, created her, she's me. But from when I very first created this brand to where it is now, it's evolved and it's become more and more niche over time. And so you'll see that the more niche you go, the more you actually attract the right kind of people. So my original niche was travel. But as you know, there is so many different areas within this niche. So when I first started, I just started a travel blog. I didn't really know what kind of travel I was talking about. I didn't really know what kind of people I was talking to. I just started blogging about travel. And it wasn't even travel I was doing. It was travel that I'd done in the past because I just wanted to get content out there. And then I started to learn. I started to learn about entrepreneurship. I started to learn about social media. I started to learn about how to build a business online. And so my specific niche became teaching people how to use social media to create more freedom to travel the world. And this tied in really well with me living in Bali, building a business in Bali, and having that freedom from quitting my job and building a business while I was traveling. And so it was obvious that I fit well into that niche because I was living proof that I was doing it. And so people saw me doing it and they wanted to work with me. Now, of course, there were other people doing the same thing. I lived in Bali with 5 other people doing the same thing as me, but we all had points of difference because we had different backgrounds. We had different experiences. So I was from the corporate world. Another one was a carpenter. There was a couple there that were already full-time travelers that had run out of money and were looking for a way to make money. And the other guy already had his own business. So we all came from very different backgrounds. So even though we were in the same niche, we had very different ways of explaining things. We had very different stories. And so we attracted very different people. And then now I've been able to go even more specific and have created a niche for females to learn to brand themselves. So this is, as I was just saying, with those 4 examples of 4 very different people selling the same product, the reason we all had success was because we all branded ourselves. We all knew our stories and we all leveraged our stories and spoke about our stories and shared our stories and our experiences in a way that connected with our audience and made them want to work with us. And so I started to learn that there's a gap in the market where people don't know how to brand themselves. They don't know how to have the results online because they're focusing too much on product and features rather than what's actually in it for their clients, who they are, sharing their story, sharing what products have done for them. And so my next niche, which has gone even more specific, is to teach females how to brand themselves and create businesses around their passions, which gives them the freedom to travel more. So you see, I'm still always staying within this travel niche, but I'm going deeper and deeper and smaller and more specific, and making myself in a really small part of that niche so that I become the go-to person for a very specific thing within the travel niche and within people who want to travel. And as my own business has evolved and I now incorporate health and wellness products, this makes my niche even narrower. I now teach women how to create online businesses and build powerful personal brands that allow them the freedom to travel more. But I teach them how to do this while staying balanced, healthy, and avoiding burnout. Because what I learned was that so many female and entrepreneurs in general were stuck in this hustle mentality where they thought they just had to work and work and work and work and work and burn themselves out. And I realized this wasn't healthy, and I got upset seeing so many other people doing this as well. And so my mission became stronger. It became about teaching people how to have freedom and a really successful online business without the burnout, without losing their health, without the weight gain and feeling bad and miserable about themselves. And so, as you can see, as your own business and brand evolves, your niche will become more and more specific as you really hone in on what you are most passionate about. And to really nail your niche, what you want to do is you want to come up with a powerful I help statement. And this is what you will use on your social media, your website tagline, in your emails, and places like that. So this way, your audience will be really clear on exactly what you do and whether you are the right person to help them. So obviously, you're limited with characters in places like Instagram. So you have to be a bit more creative with your I help statement. But then you can use your content and your feature story highlights to dig deeper and share more of what you do. So for example, on my Aussie Adventurous account, it says, I help burnt out babes create freedom. Give your body the TLC it needs while earning an income. Love your life again. So it tells them what I do, but in a way that creates curiosity and makes them want to click to learn more. And on my Just Jade Scarfoni account, it says, I help babes reclaim their lives by building personal brands and businesses they love. Ready? Again, telling them what I do, but in a way that makes them want to click to learn more. And you'll see both of those I help statements are aligned with my vision and what I do on those accounts. So Aussie Adventurous is where I teach people how to build their own businesses, and Just Jade Scarfoni is where I teach people how to not have the burnout, how to create a balanced business and a personal brand that enables them to have that freedom they desire. And so it is always staying aligned with my overall message and my values. And if they look at any one of my accounts, they will see that. They'll see it's all aligned. They'll see I'm an ocean loving travel lover. And that's why I've gone in this niche. And so my big niche was travel. Then it became about entrepreneurship. And then it got deeper, smaller and smaller and smaller. And so the more clear you are on your niche, the easier it is for you to attract your ideal clients to you as well. So people like mums, your niche isn't just being a mum. You've got other things within your niche that make you you as well. You could be a mum that was burnt out in the corporate world, that had no time with your kids. And so that's your niche, is helping corporate women get out of the corporate world so that they can have more time with their kids. Or you may be a mum that was completely lacking energy and was always sleeping and never spent time with your kids because you didn't have the energy. And so you've started using these health products that have given you the energy and zest for life back. And now you get to spend all this time with your kids. And so that could be a different niche. So you can see how things work as you dig deeper into who you are, who your client is, what message you want to share, what's important. Then that is how you really determine your niche. So that's it. It was a quick episode today, but it was also a very important one because I think a lot of people, again, just try to be too broad. And when you try to be too broad and you try to fit everyone in, you end up including no one. So the more specific you get, the more clear you get on who your customer is, who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, and you make it clear to them what you do and who you help, the more people you'll actually attract, because they'll read that statement and they'll go, oh, yep, she's totally for me, or no, she's not my person. And that's fine. You don't want to help everyone. You just want to help the people that are ideal for you. So that's it. I really hope you found this episode useful, and I will see you again in the next episode. Thank you for listening. And as always, if you have learned anything, if you have enjoyed my content, if you want to give me any feedback or anything you want to hear from me, please do leave a review, and I promise I will read it out in the new year when I start doing live episodes again. So thank you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.